Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's July 22nd, 2023. Just had some lunch, and one of the things I got to do is come down here and do a little bit more work on the Beaver Dam. It's been an ongoing project this season. So we're down by one of the access roads here, and usually this road is pretty dry, but the beaver have been expanding a new pond area, and it is overflowing across the roads here, which I've got to go down and do a little bit of work. There's frogs and fish all over in here. You can see there's a poplar there. I don't know, you may not be able to see it. I'm going to try not to get soaking wet here. That the beaver have been chewing and getting ready to fall. That tree right there. They've lined up dead trees along in here. And you can see in our spillway over here, they've gone ahead and blocked this off. Now this is a spillway that I've been coming through and reducing in size, and before I took it right out, and the water level is coming up so high that it's actually at the top of where the trees are, and the lower Beaver Pond, we'll walk up there in a moment, is much higher right now. So what the beaver have been doing, it is fascinating watching when they build a new site and all. So first they went ahead and they put a lot of limbs of trees, and I took a lot of them out. They extended out this way. The base of the trees over here and the branches at this end, gathering all the sticks and twigs as they would harvest them throughout this area. Now this is a canal system I had put in here, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before. And this was a spillway, a nice wide spillway going off into the lowest of the beaver ponds. But what the beaver have been doing, they really modified things up there, and I'll get to that in a couple of moments. But they've been building this up. And what you're seeing here as far as this beaver dam that they built is really just the tip of the iceberg. When we look at a pyramid, it has that pyramidal shape. And yes, this looks somewhat pyramidal, but they take, as they're excavating these canals, there's canals all throughout in this area that they're digging down 1.5 to 2.5 feet. And that makes their canal system so that they can navigate through each one of these areas. But they're digging out all of the vegetation and that rich muck, and they're packing it against these walls. So this isn't a fairly straight line here. This goes back probably 6 feet and tapers so that it's all that mud and vegetable material that's in there. So you can see there's very little water coming through this dam right here because they've sealed it up so well. And it's not because they're just packing it up against the brush here. There's a very gradual slope going that way that the beaver have packed with vegetation. And you'd see they're building up all these small little areas here along the way. They position everything well. And then the overflow is up here where they're starting to go ahead and build more and more. So you may be able to see all their work right in here. And to get to these areas, they're digging canals. Pretty impressive engineers. So I'll be coming down here in a few minutes with Elon to compact this down. I want to go down about 5 to 6 inches is what I want to do. And I'll do it from about where this little, what I have is a camera mount spot there, that steel post there. And I'm going to move that out because I tried recording those guys, and it's so hard to get them with the camera angles here. But I'm going to move this, I'm going to compress the top of this down 5 or 6 inches, and I'm going to do it the full width because the pressure of all that water in there. It may not look like that much water, but there's many thousands of gallons of water there, and it will rush right across this area. So you can see all of this was well above the water level when I put these trees in here. And these are swamp white oaks. There's some gooseberries here, swamp white oak there, gooseberries, gooseberries. Gooseberries. Up here we have some horseradish as well. And these are all swamp white oaks in here. Here's some thornless blackberry plants here. And the reason that the water is so brown in here is because they're constantly disturbing the soil. Now we'll walk up here to the spillway that I've had to repair. And this spillway, which is a roadway that goes from where I'm walking right now and goes up that way in that direction. And over 2 years, I brought in lots of stone wall and built the base of this because it was really a deep trench that the beaver had put through. And I didn't bring my big boots. And if I can find, I did record, all right, so when I went ahead, oh geez, I just noticed they're starting to strip the bark off of this poplar over here. Stripping the bark off, and they started nibbling at the base. So they're just setting up, and I don't know if it's the youngsters here, but what I was saying was, I actually forgot my train of thought here, but when I was removing the dam that they had put down there in the past, I tried not packing it down, but removing like the top layer of it with Mini-Me. Everything looked great. Went back up to the house, and Thea and I came down here at nighttime with Suki, the Kubota RTV, and we always check on the swans and the herons and the deer and all down here. And unfortunately, the pressure was so much it just burst right through the dam that they had built. The rest of it, part of it I had removed the top part, but it went down a good 2 feet. And I was able to come down here and see the reason that we bottomed out trying to drive across here was because they had taken all the stones from the stone wall going across and cut out a canal. We're talking rocks at least as big as a football, basketball, that size. And those beavers went ahead and took those out of the roadway here and removed it. And when the dam, temporary dam that they had put up, that I tried to remove part of it, that actually washed out, it just drained this whole area. And because they had no dam here, they were actually making this a continuous pond from the lower Beaver Pond here. The water level dropped 2 feet over here, dropped a good 2 feet over here, and I could see the canal that they had put through what was a stone wall. So last week I came through, and a week and a half ago, I excavated out more of the stone wall that we had and put it back in here, and then I took some of the sediment from over here and put it on top of it. And I let the beaver rebuild their temporary dam over the area down there. So this isn't a bad thing, but if we have a big, massive downpour, this whole road could wash out. So I have had to repair a couple locations, but by them building up the spillway dam that we first looked at and allowing this canal system to connect to this lower beaver pond, it raises the water. And here's the beaver crossing right here, right to the very top. So any significant rainfall that we get will work its right through here and just wash this road right out. And these roads are not easy to put in. So I'm going to go get Elon. And this I built this whole road right here, this section, because this used to be the road. We used to always drive around this tree. And that's how I did all the construction over the last couple of years over there in the base camp. These roads here was, I had this road here. All of this area here is made from what the beaver keep building down there. And then I took some sandy material and covered it up some, sandy gravel material, and covered it up. So I'm gonna go get Elon the Takushi TB290 excavator, and I'm not going to try and remove the dam. I'm just going to press it down with the bucket and see if we can get the water to lower the level in here somewhat. Within several days, they will build it back up again because they have plans all in this area. The roadway that I put in on the other side of this forested area that's turning into swampland right now, that you can see water. They made the canals all the way up to that roadway. It's hard to see the canals because there's actually one right in there. They go right in between everything, dig out all the material, haul it to all the different locations, and build their dam walls. They are truly busy beavers. So I'll come down and use Elon to just gently, I may take a few of these branches out here, but I'll just gently, I'll probably use mini-me to get these, with the grapple, to get these small, larger limbs extending across here. And they may wash out if I use Elon first, but I'll come down and get this down 5-6 inches from here right over to where that post is. So we have a nice wide discharge, and that will speed up and rush right through here. And hopefully we won't get too many big fish. Thea is up all night worrying about all the fish that get stuck in the vegetation here. Of course, the raccoons have a feast, and the foxes do as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go get Elon and see what I can do here. Our little angels. So I think that's probably pretty good. I may have to come down a couple more inches, but what I'll do is I'll come down here with Mini-Me with a small grapple on it and grab a hold of some of these larger limbs. They've already got the structural integrity of this dam because of that, the slope, the very gradual slope on that side. Lots of sand, lots of soil, lots of vegetation interlocked between all of the branches that they put in here. Now this fall, I'll have to lower this even more. But for now, and I'll have to do it several times between now and fall, this is going to lower some of the water level up there so I don't have to worry. I'll have to see if I have to put some more stone wall in the spillway up there. And this way I'm not going to get any of the big fish to get out in there as well. It's going to be very passive. If we just open up a narrow space, man, that really creates a tremendous flow rate, and the high velocity of that water just rips everything right apart. By gently tamping down the tops of here, we're allowing it to more gradually go. All the vegetative material can slide down in between the rest of the branches here, and when they work on this later this afternoon or this evening, that should work out pretty well. And they do work during the daytime as well. Such a lovely sound. And when I do excavate out the pond over there, I'll really have to lower this down to quite a bit. But in the meantime, they're building all of those canals. I'll just connect them to a big pond over there. But this is necessary for now. So we'll let this passively discharge the excess water in here and check it this evening, because there are many thousands and thousands of gallons that have got to drain from here some. And I won't disrupt the rest of their dam work here. They can reconstruct this in just a couple of days or overnight if they really wanted to. But their building the canal systems really helps me out a lot as well. Cool. So that's one of the challenges I have in Beaver. But we love them, and they do so much for us, our property, and all the other species that inhabit this property with us. They're cool dudes, hard workers. Wish I had the energy they have.